Clara, if you wanted to make the link back to you, and we'll start more on the more dynamic aspect. What do you think as a government, and we were talking about having this kind of pilot projects, what could happen as a government to, but probably it's also applicable to other companies, that could happen, that could leverage this kind of technology and apply it to have impact on the daily life of the people of the country?
Thank you, Tiago. Yeah, well, it's a very good point because, I mean, blockchain as well as AI, they're both really foundational technologies. However, and both have been now around for quite a while, but with blockchain, we didn't have, I heard that yesterday, that kind of ChatGPT moment. So where suddenly, instantly, we have an interface for Jane and John Doe, right, that are using it, and it has become very sexy to use it, and it has become, ubiquitous. We has wide implications in our lives and how we deal and in our productivity and work, everything. However, when it comes to blockchain, that requires us to rethink our whole business architecture and processes. So it's everything but a plug-and-play technology that you can just use like that and generate value. So it's way more complicated. And I believe, in funding, but also in actually then pilot projects with AI, it's sexy to, even if everything has to be AI-enabled, AI-powered, AI-supported, and AI-native, everything like that. With blockchain, I would think about the film Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. So with blockchain pilot projects, if you want to implement them in the government or sometimes also maybe in a company, people are scared of it. So don't talk about blockchain, just talk about what it is doing. And what I'm telling what it's doing, for example, to showcase one pilot project that we're implementing, is how to introduce back trust into digital documents and to prove the authenticity, to prove the provenance over the whole life cycle of a document. And then don't talk about blockchain. So what powers that, what verifies that, how that works, no one is interested in that. And so it's difficult, it's a lot about trust, and trust follows understanding. So how to get that kind of educational element, how to get people to understand what it's doing and how to implement it in the infrastructure, the operating system that you're using. That is the main challenge, but at the same time also the opportunity that we are seeing. But it's difficult, and I'm really glad to hear that there are already solutions out there that not only relating to blockchain but also AI and how to combine both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, you mentioned about trust, and trust is also about risk and ratings. Yeah. So maybe, Regis, you can have from your side.
I was just going to say that. So what Clara said, and also I heard the keynote speaker before us, and I was listening to him. He mentioned as well the need for education and the need for user adoption is going to be the way that the blockchain is going to scale and the infrastructure is going to be adopted widely, and that can only happen, and I think the speaker before us mentioned it very well. We need a Web2 wrapper for Web3 applications. There are no user interfaces. You need to be a computer scientist basically to use blockchain or decentralized applications today, and the common user cannot really use decentralized applications. So there's a need for education, awareness, not only for the users, but it's also happening at the regulator level. And there are jurisdictions where things are being led by the regulators and the industry is following, but in some jurisdictions, the industry is leading the innovation, and then the regulations are trying to come up with frameworks to make sure there are guardrails for consumer protection. So education, awareness is very important, externally as well as internally within the organization. So upskilling the talent, upskilling yourselves, learning about the technology, because like I said earlier, blockchain is not going to be the lone technology that is going to change the game. It is going to need other emerging technologies on top of it to apply more efficiencies, and then standardization is going to drive that interoperability as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, to link with the next aspect of the question, it's important to see how these consultancy, because again, often governments and entities, large organizations, they use consultancy as a way of getting to reduce the risk, understanding, and as you said, learn and create awareness. I don't know, Pierre, if you want to comment on that, and also how consultancy firms and these new style consultancy firms could support on this awareness and on the development of this kind of projects within the government or big entities?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it always starts with education. So we spend a lot of time on supporting education around the topics, because it's also always important, in particular in governments and big institutions, that you ensure that the executive team fully is buying into the technology. And it's not just, which happened a lot in 2016-17, it's not just we do a blockchain project to tick the box that we did something with blockchain, right? I think that time is over, luckily for everyone. But I think, maybe just to pick on the other point, I think key indeed is that it's not a single isolated technology. It's going to be a combination of infrastructure and a combination of different technologies that would bring the innovation. And I want to mention maybe two examples that really are a proof point for this merging of technologies going ahead and really unleashing the power of AI and blockchain. And the first thing is, I'm not sure who knows the Internet Computer Protocol. Maybe quick sign of hands. Okay, that's actually part of the surprise now, I think. So Internet Computer Protocol is one of the top 19 or top 17 today by market cap. These guys have developed infrastructure that is ready to host entire data sets and compute infrastructure. And for 2 weeks ago, they showcased the first AI model running on-chain. And on-chain means it runs on-chain, and that is a huge, huge achievement. And in my view, the main challenge that governments and institutions will have is, how do you safeguard your AI model against malicious inputs and against other attacks? And the only way I see this happening is through a combination with blockchain.
Absolutely.
That's a good point to jump into, because Formula One teams, they invest hundreds of millions to build their cars. For example, Red Bull Racing, it's an organization of 1,300 people that are on day on site to have one focus, to build the fastest race car they can with the tools and the resources they get from Austria. And you want to protect that data, right? You don't want the competitor to look at why is Red Bull always winning, because they have a secret underneath their car. They're better on their aerodynamics, so we want this aerodynamic data to be protected. So AI is helping develop the team on data side and reading the data and learning from it and improving the car itself. But then you want to protect it through the blockchain, that no other team can obviously copy it. And it's also a way of education, because in an organization like Red Bull does, 1,300 people, there are a lot of new young kids, new talent coming in, diversity, also a lot of women coming in on the data analysis. Hannah Schmitz, for example, she's sitting at the pit wall during the Grand Prix, and she's working real time with Oracle as a software solution for their pit stop strategies. They can simulate 4 million strategies in 1 hour, which in my days, it was an Italian guy writing a piece of paper. At what lab should he come in, you know? So it changes a lot. And to educate the people, all the people on the team, that they know how to use AI and blockchain is also very important. So we have these seminars in-house at Red Bull as well, teaching the staff how to use and operate the blockchain.